Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drive-Thru. I'm your host, Tony T. We broadcast live here on Pick Dogs and SCPBetting.com. We'll get you out here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here on the Drive-Thru, Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time is our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and SCP Betting. Let's take a look at who's on the show with us here for today. All right, we've got Ninos with us. It's Wednesdays with Mitch. Chris Ruffolo, Dana will sign in about bottom of the hour, and Rod Zawacky. Here's how they'll line up for this evening. We've got Ruffolo, Ninos, Zawacky, Lane, Mitch, and then I will close this one out. All right, let's get this one underway. Some college hoops in action. Just saw Iowa go down, some upsets here. I guess this is finals week, right? So we're seeing some David and Goliath games and Sharks versus Minnows. Some of the Minnows are beating the Sharks. We'll see how the rest of the night goes here in college hoops. Of course, we got that bowl game tonight and big NBA card as well. So let's get this one underway. Let's go ahead and welcome in Chris Ruffolo. If I'm over at Pick Dogs Premium, he's done great work in the NHL this season. I hope you've been checking out that Puck Dogs video series with Chris and Rod Zawacky. So let's go ahead and get Chris Ruffolo in right now. So he's going to take a look at some college basketball that tips off here about the top of the hour. So we'll get Chris's play here for you here in just a second. We bring in Chris right now. Here we go, Chris Ruffolo. Chris, what's happening?
Oh, cool. Tony, you just had to bring up that Iowa game and twist the knife, didn't you?
No.
You know what? Hey, you know what? Those games happen, thankfully, unless you had the money line, which I hope nobody did. They count all the same. They just count as one game. So we pick it up and move on to the next one. Tons of action tonight to get it back.
Yeah, tons of action tonight. Looks like there's a doubleheader going on over in the Phoenix Arena tonight. I know USC's in action tonight here in a good matchup as well. We've got Auburn taking on Washington. There's some pretty good matchups as well. We got some conference games as well. We just see Santa Barbara and App State just tipping off that doubleheader, game one of that doubleheader there in that's Colorado State and USC playing. That's the game I really wanted to see today. But anyway, we're going to the Pac-12 tonight. Top of the hour here. Cal here hosting UT Arlington. Arlington coming off that good effort against San Francisco. Their dogs here. California laying 4, total 121.
Yeah, Tony, the difference between these two teams, both these teams struggling on offense. You have the UT Arlington Mavericks putting up just 68.6 points per game, but Cal 359th in scoring, putting up just 58 points per game this season. And with two struggling offenses, I mean, let's be realistic. The difference here is that UT Arlington's actually winning basketball games. Cal equaling the worst start to a season for a power conference team in history at 0-12, and frankly, we've seen this game script before. Again, Cal being favored against a team that they probably shouldn't be favored against. We saw it against Eastern Washington last week, or a couple weeks ago, when I gave out the same pick on the drive-through. And I'm going to go back to the well here. I'm going to fade Cal till the cows come home. UT Arlington, they're coming off of that win as 15-point dogs against San Francisco. They don't really have to travel far for this game. I think it's maybe a half-hour drive between Berkeley and San Francisco. I know it's not not all that far. And you have to start to wonder, if you don't want to use the Q word, but if the quit factor is in play for Cal here. Chemistry's been an issue, injuries have been an issue, and just nothing seemed to go right for Cal this year. Some people may think you'll see an inspired effort with one of the last really sort of winnable spots for Cal in their schedule. I'm not buying it. I'm taking UT Arlington with the points. I'm also putting a little bit on UT Arlington money line as well.
Yeah, I can't argue that one there. With UT Arlington +4 there against Cal. Arlington. When you look at this Cal team, Mark Fox has his hands full. I mean, these teams. I know Stanford uses the excuse with the transfer portal. California, again, a team with these high academic standards, very difficult to get transfers in. They'll leave. And trust me, with this type of record, they're going to leave too again this offseason. But just terrible three-point shooting. 356 in the nation from three. Just a really bad number here. 349th in effective field goal shooting here. So it's just bad numbers here all the way around here for this Cal team that's lost home games here to UC Davis. Even lowly UC San Diego. This is the lowest level San Diego that's playing right now. They even beat Cal. And Southern beat them too, as the SWAC took a smack toward the Pac-12 this season.
UC San Diego is like San Diego light. I mean, for West Coast college hoops, but yeah, it hasn't been a good look. I mean, this is a Cal team that is lucky to break 60 points on any given night, and like you mentioned, just the offensive numbers terrible, and not only that, They go through long scoring droughts, and they turn over the basketball at a crazy percentage. I think they're 326 in the country in turnover percentage. And when you're not taking care of the basketball, it's hard to beat anybody, even UT Arlington. I think we're getting points with the better team here, flat out. So that's why I got to take UT Arlington here.
Yeah, they're a little better defensively. There are some scary numbers there, too, offensively with UT Arlington. But again, they got the win in San Francisco. They beat Northern Kentucky on a neutral. 3 wins against non-D1 schools there. But anyway, you got UT Arlington +4 against Cal. This one to have a start time here, 7 p.m. Eastern time, top of the hour over on Pac-12 Network. All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium tonight's action. Of course, great results here in the NHL. 2,608 units of profit in the NHL. That is all documented over at Pick Dogs Premium. Chris doing fantastic work. Also showing profit this year, NFL, college football, NBA as well. So doing great work across as well as showing profit for the year 2022. Closing out the new year in style here with some strong performance here in December. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, Tony, first off, before I get any further, you mentioned the 3 wins against non-D1 teams. I guess Cal could probably be a non-D1 team at this point as well, so we have to might make it 4. But for me tonight, I got a couple things on the go. I got my NHL power play for $15. Also got that power play as part of my NHL hat trick for tonight's action. Also going to be putting up a 3-pack for the later action tonight. Put it as my drive-through number 3 combo, just a special for what you guys get here for tuning into the drive-through. So make sure you check that out. Or, we always talk about it. The long-term passes are the best way to go. Today, took a bump with Iowa, but again, there's tons of action still to be had. I got tons of action still for tonight. And a lot of times with all the plays that we have on the board, rather than buying each play individually, it's cheaper to get just a 3-day pass and get yourself covered for a couple of days. The 7 days is going to get you into really, the holiday tournaments, a loaded NFL card on the weekend, all the college football you can ask for. Even the month is going to get you into the new year as well, get you the college football national championship and into the meat of conference college basketball. So tons of action. The long term is the best way to go, whether it's just with me or someone else, part of the 2-for-1 capper deal. So make sure you go over to Pick Dogs Premium and check it out.
That's right, guys. Got to go with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick Dogs Premium. Great results here. 2,608 units of profit, NHL, of course, and winning many of the major sports that we talked about here. So a good time to get on board here with Chris. As right now, as Chris was mentioning, he has an NHL hat trick right now, a 3-pack here from the NHL, affordably priced here at $40. Of course, that is credit guarantee, meaning it must turn a profit. The amount you purchase is credit back in your account for side credits. That is their credit guarantee. Also in action here with it plays individually. So 3-day taster, of course, 3-day pass. But again, as Chris was alluded to, the long-term pass may serve you well. We may consider here from Chris a 7-day all sports pass to get all of his play in place here for 7 days. But here we are on December 21st. Just go ahead and get the 1-month all sports pass. This way you'll wrap up the entire college football bowl season, playoffs, as well as the championship game. All is NHL for a month, NBA, college hoops. The NFL, this will take you through the wild card weekend, right? We have 3 weeks remaining of the regular season, and then we get into the playoffs. Wild card weekend, part of that 1-month all sports pass over at Pick Dogs. So go ahead and get signed up. You can use the promo code PICK at checkout, and you'll save 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion, even greater value there. All right, Chris, as always, great having your show. Keep up the great work. We'll talk with you again next week. But I know you contribute a lot over the site. You're hot in hockey. You've got that Puck Dogs video series there with Rod Zawacky. Also part of that morning crew every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, Tony, like you mentioned, tons of stuff going on. Pick Dogs, I love doing the morning shows, having a blast being back. And, those videos, like you said, we're going to have lots of content up tonight. The NHL videos are going to go up shortly. Working on college hoops and NBA as well as the Thursday night game tomorrow. So you mentioned tons of action and tons of content over at Pick Dogs YouTube.
Yeah, lots and lots of content, guys. So you want to be able to check it out there over at Pick Dogs. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's the best thing you can do. Subscribe to the channel with all this content on here. Tons of free picks every day loaded on the channel. So make sure you subscribe. When you set the notifications, you'll be notified when you're signed into YouTube that a live show is airing to get the best numbers from these picks. All right, Chris, have a great night. We'll talk again next week.
Sounds good, Tony. See you then.
You see then, Chris Ruffolo here on the drive to. Let's continue here on the show. Up next is Ninos. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Al's put up some really good numbers too. If you check out the leaderboards, he's on a regular for us here on the drive to. You can also catch him on the weekend shows, Saturday and Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern time with Mitch and the crew on the weekend morning show. So we'll go ahead and get Ninos in right now. I think we're all ready to roll here with Al. Here we go. Ninos ready to go here. Al, what's happening? Al, I think you got on mute. Let's see what he's doing here with this signing in process here. We'll wait for Al to sign in as he's going to be looking here at it. You there, Al, Ninos?
Should be sorted now.
I got you now. Here you go. Got you now. All right, here we go tonight. We're going to the NHL tonight as the Blackhawks will be hosting the Predators. We got the Predators road favorites minus 195, total 5.5.
Yeah, pretty heavy price to be paying for a team that hasn't been playing too well, I guess I should say, to be laying this kind of juice. I mean, well enough to be laying this kind of juice, but pretty decent spot here. And I figured since, it's Wednesdays with Mitch, would go with his favorite hockey team, favorite team in his favorite sport. But we'll have to try to find a way to bring this juice down a bit here. And I think the way to go in this one is to take the Predators in regulation. As bad as the Predators have been, the Blackhawks just been worse. And the Predators are 8-2 in the last 8 meetings, and 3 of these games have gone into overtime, and 2 of them the Blackhawks have won actually. So I think the value here is for Nashville to get the job done in regulation, even if it is a close one. I think if they win, they do that in the first 60 minutes. So no overtime, and just bring that price down to a bettable number, and back the Predators here.
All right, Ninos wants to back the Predators in regulation, minus 115 against the Blackhawks in the 3-way line, meaning if the game ends in a draw, it's a loser. So you've got to win the game in the 60 minutes. The draw is actually a play you can make too as well in those 3-way lines. You see it a lot in soccer, that 3-way line here, and that's what's playing into here in this type of play. Of course, Nashville, they got in the win column, right? They just had a 6-game losing streak. They beat Edmonton, but prior to that win, they were having difficulty getting the puck in the net.
Yeah, so they haven't been playing well at all, but this is just a good spot, I think, for them to build on that win. That was a pretty impressive win, if you ask me. Beating them pretty good. Again, another team that hasn't been playing too well. The Oilers have been pretty disappointing too, but the Blackhawks, I believe, are just won 1-9 in their last 10. So just awful here, coming in on the 7-game losing streak, as you mentioned, And as you said, the Predators have been struggling, but they are the better team on paper. They've dominated this matchup, and should build on that win. So as disappointing as they've been, Chicago's just been worse, and you got to take advantage of these spots when you need wins. So I think the Predators got the job done tonight.
There you go. It's been a rough one here for this Blackhawks team. Looking at this franchise, a one-story franchise is just having its difficulty right now here on the ice. No doubt about that. Predators in regulation, minus 115 here against the Blackhawks. So this one to have a start time here of 8:30 Eastern time. All right, now let's take a look over at Pick Dogs from tonight's action. There's a good NBA board up there. We have 11 games here on the NBA. Also, so a lot of college hoops going on today, afternoon and evening, as well as NBA and NHL in action today. So good cards tonight. We have a bowl game as well in prime time. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge PM? 666 units last 30 days.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought I'd point it out to you, but I'm glad you noticed it as well. I thought it'd be a funny number to put up there. But I do have my 3-pack with my best bet in the NBA, NHL, and college football. I do have it playing that bowl game. Have them all sold separately, and I also have a 3-pack in the NBA and NHL as well, as a couple of extra plays in the NBA, like the card tonight. So, I got a couple extra plays for one of the long-term and 2 foreign capper specials. So, good time to get one of those.
That's right, guys. Get up over units over at Pick Dogs. Premium results here, 666 there with the units here over the past 30 days. That is all documented over at Pick Dogs. Premium from Al Ninos over at the site, showing good profit this year in NHL, 560 units of profit right now. Al's made his feature play tonight. His alphabets, he's back on the alphabets here. His 3-pack here. He takes his best bet from the NBA, NHL, and college football, puts it together here in a 3-pack. So get on board with that at credit guarantee. This means it must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account for site credits. That is profit. That is a credit guarantee there when you make that purchase. Also, a lot of plays individually sold by Al, but here we are, on a Wednesday. You may consider that 7-day all sports pass. Get the holiday plays here from Al Ninos, all his premium plays here from the NFL. Remember, we got a 4-day work week again this week in the NFL. We got plays here on Thursday. We got plays on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So that covers 4 days of NFL. Also, all his NBA. Remember, we got those Christmas Day games here coming up here as well on Christmas Day. and of course all the bowl actions covered, NHL and more. Get that 7-day all sports pass, great value right now over at Pick Dogs Premium. You could also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion, even greater value there. All right, Al, as always, great having you on the show. Keep up that great work, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Tony. Have a good one.
Yeah, Al Ninos here on the drive through. All right, let's continue on coverage, guys. If you miss any pick, we will recap at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. All right, we do expect with us next lineup here would be Rod, Dana, and Mitch, and then I'll have a free pick. So let's continue on here on the drive through. Just checking to see if we got Dana signed. And usually comes in about the bottom of the hour, so I don't think he is prepared yet. So we're going to go to Rod Zawacky. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Also check him out on the morning shows every day at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Also part of the Puck Dog Shoes with those hockey videos, doing great work there. Rod, what's happening?
Not too much, Tony. Doing a little contest grading and getting a little stuff ready for Christmas dinner coming up. So
that's right. That time of the year, great time of the year tonight. Okay, we're going to the
staying warm because
goodness. I have seen some of those posts Rod Zawacky makes, and he gives us the updated weather report in this part of the country, and you see seen a lot of minus.
Yeah, minus almost 40 tonight. Wind chills close to minus 53, 54, somewhere in that range tonight. You definitely don't want to wander outside in my neck of the woods.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, here we go tonight. We're going to hockey here in Montreal on the road facing Colorado. Colorado about 270-ish, total 5.5.
Yeah, you look at this one. Colorado's done not too bad without McKinnon in the lineup. You look at the last 7 games, they've been just battling. What they've done is decided to play a little defense. They can't outscore teams with McKinnon in there. They seem a little lost at firepower. And it's not only him that they're missing. They're missing a bunch of guys. Their mass unit injury list getting a little long there for the Colorado Avalanche. And so they decided that we're going to play some unders. We're going to play low-scoring hockeys and try to win one in the end, keep them close, tight hockey. So we look at this one here. And since McKinnon's been out, the Avs have played to the under 7 straight. And then you look at Montreal, same thing. Maybe a lack of scoring or playing in gritty, low-scoring, hard-hitting type games. 5-1-1 to the under is this Montreal Canadiens team. So I expect this is going to be like the first to 3 wins this type of game, if you even get to 3. So we're going to take Montreal on the with the plus the goal and a half in this one, as I think it's a 1-goal game. Or Montreal could win this outright, but I think I'd feel a little better with the plus 1.5. Because you look in those 7 games that the Avs have been without McKinnon. The first one they lost to Boston 4-0. They lost the next one to the Rangers 2-1. They beat the Blues 3-2, 1-goal game. Beat the Flyers, 1-goal game. Lost to Buffalo. Beat the Islanders, 1-goal game. They beat the Nashville Predators. They've not been playing very good. 1-2-goal game. So in those 7 games, 6 of them have been decided by 1 goal, or they've lost outright. So we're going to take Montreal here on the plus 1.5. I think we got another gritty, low-scoring game. So there's another hint. Take the under in this game.
There you go from Rod Zawacky. Give you a little bit of hint there. Canadians puck line plus the 1.5 goals, minus 110 against an Avalanche. Avalanche team that's 8-7 here at home, and this used to be a team that just would put goals in the net. Now they're averaging 2.9 goals a game at home, 2.4 goals a game here over the past 5. They got under in 5 straight.
7 straight.
7 straight.
7
now,
straight.
Yeah.
They've gone under 7 straight as these Colorado Avalanche definitely just started to play in the defensive hockey. You look at Montreal on the road this season; they're 11-5 to that puck line on the season. And if you look also, the Avs following a win, they've 6 straight. They've failed to cover the next game to that puck line. So love the spot here. Take the Montreal Canadiens plus the 1.5. Montreal's either going to win this outright or it's going to be a 1-goal game.
All right, there we go.
Either way, we're going to get our 5th straight win here on the drive-thru for you guys.
That's right. Let's do it. Let's continue with the great results here from Rod Zawacky on Canadians puck line plus 1.5 goals, minus 110 against the Avalanche. This one do have a start time here of 9 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium tonight's action. Of course, showing great results in college football, 805 units of profit, all documented over at Pick Dogs Premium. Tonight, we got some one bowl game in prime time with lots of hockey, lots of NBA, college hoops as well. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
And over Pick Dogs Premium tonight, I got a little bit of NBA. I got a nice 3-pack going, which includes my $15 NBA drop a dime play. We hit that yesterday, looking to continue with it. You can get it singly, or as I said, grab it in the NBA Birdcage package. Or I've got my Wise Guy Wednesday 5-pack where you can get my 3 NHL plays plus 2 college basketball plays in there for tonight's action. Definitely the better way to go instead of paying for everything singly and all them single packages. Grab something long term. Grab a 3-day, grab a 7-day, grab a 30-day, or grab the rest of the year pass for $150. I'll give you everything I got going right through to New Year's. Kick off the end of the year with me and let's make some money. Use that promo code PICK. Save 15% off all your purchases of $25 or more over at Pick Dogs Premium.
That's right. Get on board here with Rod Zawacky over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the great results here in college football. 805 units of profit. Also tonight over at Pick Dogs, as Rod was mentioning, he does have his featured play up there, NBA Drop a Dime play, $15. And, of course, that is credit guaranteed, meaning it must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account for side credits. That is credit guarantee. Birdcage from the NBA, a 3-pack up there. A Wise Guy Wednesday play for you. So lots of action from Rod. But again, here we are on a Wednesday, as we talked about earlier. You may consider that 1-week pass from Rod. Get all of Rod's premium plays here for 7 days. All his college bowl action. Remember, NFL, it's a 4-day work week. We have action Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday here with that NFL game. So get on board there with Rod with that 7-day pass. All the bowls, also NHL in play for 7 days, NBA, college hoops. With all these sports overlapping, the long-term pass is the best value right now over at Pick Dogs Premium. Here we are in the holiday week. The 7-day pass will serve you well. Use a promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that 2-point capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Rod, it's always great having your show. I know you do a lot over at Pick Dogs. We catch you in the mornings at Puck Dogs video series with you and Chris with those videos from hockey, and of course the contest to become a capper contest.
Yeah, definitely tune into Instagram, check it out. There's links over there. You can see how everybody's doing in the contest, and maybe follow one of the future cappers that's going to join us over here at Pick Dogs, because someone's going to win that contest, and it's going to be close and tight. I'm going to say it's going to come down to the last couple of days there. Definitely tune us, check us out. Me, Mitch, and Chris enjoying the morning show. We love it. Always having a good time. Sometimes we go a little off the rails, but hey, always a good time. Definitely get your picks. Definitely get some winners. And now we got the new the crystal meters going, right? It's like you got to come check that out. We'll have the crystal meter going. So definitely check us out on the morning show. And hit that like and subscribe. And you get notifications and get all of the content that's going on. We got videos going. Me and Chris doing the Puck Dogs. Jovan doing his parlay video. You got it's Ron doing his videos.
The bank shot jam. Yeah, the jam
shot jam. Yeah, and then you got Jay doing his jam session. So yeah, definitely like, subscribe. That way you get everybody check out all your cappers with all that content there for you. Definitely appreciate you. Smash that like button. Costs you nothing. Helps us out a ton. And yeah, definitely look forward. Someone's gonna win that thing. James Thrower's still up there in the lead.
James Thrower still winning.
James Thrower still got the lead, and
he's holding.
There's definitely lots of cappers that are right there. He's holding for now, but definitely lost cappers hot in his heels. Yeah,
still a lot of time, by the way. So don't despair. Just keep putting those picks in. Of course, we got the top 10. This was a couple days ago. James Thrower was 15.25. Manny B was second. Kelly McGinnis third at 12.30. So very competitive so far. Rod, from first to 10th, your first place of contestant 15.25, and 10th right now Howard A at 9.15.
Right, very very close. It's what it's been the last 3 years of this capper contest. We've found some people who have done very well, and as Mitch always says, hey, sometimes it's not the winner we take. Sometimes we get the winner, but I believe the last couple of winners haven't stuck around. So definitely be consistent. And
turnover is part of every good business. Turnover is part of every good business. That's
you
how
never
it goes.
know, right?
Yeah.
You never know who's going to come on over here and join us over here shoot videos. We're looking for somebody.
That's right.
Someone's going to win. It's going to be close. It's definitely going to come close. So
good luck to everyone in the contest. But if you haven't signed in, go ahead and follow over at Instagram at Pick Dogs. It is the Instagram account at Pick Dogs, and of course it's going to run through the 31st, and that's when the contest, even if you're not in it, it's good to follow and check the picks and maybe tail the hot guy, right?
Yep, tail the hot guy. There's definitely more than one hot guy over there that's and ladies, because there's definitely a girl in there who's doing quite well as well. She's not in the top 10, but she's just outside the top 10, so watch out.
All right. Instagram over on Pick Dogs. Check it out. The contest runs through the 31st. All right, Rod, as always, great having you here on the show. Keep up the great work, and we'll catch up with you here on Steak Friday.
Definitely. You take care, and we'll see you guys on Steak Friday. See everybody else tomorrow morning.
All right, you got it. Rod Zawacky here on the drive-thru. There we go, guys. If you missed any of our picks, we'll do a complete recap at the end of the show. We still have Mitch here, and Dana hasn't signed in yet, so we'll go here to Mitch. I just want to give you an update here of any of these late-breaking injuries. The last couple of days have been just, boy, it's been something here with these NBA injuries. It looks like the Irving is still questionable here. Kyrie Irving, if you didn't notice, that was some of the late additions here to since the overnight. Kyrie Irving is still questionable for this Warriors-Nets game at the top of the hour. We know Klay Thompson is now out of this one. Marcus Smart is now out here for Boston, so we're getting some of the words in here, some of the information coming in. Gary Trent now out here for Toronto. See, some of these questionables are moving to out. Franz Wagner still questionable for Orlando in that game here against the Houston Rockets. And let's see here, Gobert still showing as questionable as of right now. Now these games begin here about an hour or so, so still a lot of going on here. And Nurkic still questionable for Portland. He's still in the questionable. And for the Lakers, we know Davis is out. Westbrook now out for the Lakers. Reeves doubtful. James has been moved to probable. So that's the update there on that game. And of course here with the Hornets Clippers, that one also has been an injury game. George, Jackson, and Zubac still questionable. For Charlotte, Rozier doubtful. Martin Smith out. Powell looks like he's a go. He's an important piece there. He can provide scoring off the bench. Powell. So that's your update here on the injury report. Maybe we should find. Maybe we should maybe we should find a sponsor. It shouldn't be too hard to find a sponsor for these injury reports in the NBA because man, you got to keep an eye on this. It's just amazing here how many injuries we've seen here just the last couple of days, and I don't know. I think this is going to be the way it is the rest of the year. Let's go ahead and bring in Mitch right now. We're still waiting for Dana to come in. Of course, you'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium doing great work up there. Mitch, what's happening?
Not that much, Tony. How you doing today?
Doing awesome. All right, here we go tonight. I know you're going to be looking at this game we just talked about here with this Lakers team facing the Kings. The Kings are going to be laying 7 in this one, total 239.5.
You know, over the years, the Kings have been streaky good and streaky bad, and just for the most part, it's been more bad than good. And I think this year the Kings are streaky once again. I just think we're seeing a lot more streaky good to the Kings, at least thus far this season. You know, the Kings traditionally have been, all offense and no defense, and they're starting to play some defense. And, I've been on this show for years and also our other live shows and videos and say, and I say it over and over again, the Kings just refuse to play defense. Well, I think they've learned that if you play just a minimal amount of defense, if you have a good offense, man, you can win a lot of games in the NBA because, we see it all the time where just like, a tenth of a point makes a 5-place difference on offense, but on defense, it takes a little bit more to move the needle. And I just think for the Kings, 22nd ranked in defense, it might not sound good to you and me, but believe me, for the Kings, it's about a 30% upgrade from where we've seen them in the offensive and defensive standings. So you throw that in with 117.8 points per game, and you're in business. Meanwhile, the Lakers, I just don't think they have the depth to go in this kind of game against this kind of team. The Lakers, they play defense. They have star players, but the issue is they don't have the depth. And when you don't have the depth, well, you still have to score points, and the Lakers can't hit the threes. So, it's like they have too many problems here, and the Kings playing too well. I'm going to go with the Kings in this one.
Yeah, I mentioned going here with the Kings, laying the 7 here against the Lakers. And, of course, we always make note here of these injuries. The Kings, one of the more healthier teams. They do have a few guys on the injury report, but there's been a lot of games where they've had a clean injury report, so their superstars are playing. And I think they got the best out of Indiana getting Sabonis over. He had like a big game. Even though in defeat, you got to respect what De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis is doing. Sabonis, 28 points, 23 rebounds.
Yeah, it's like the teams like the Kings, like the Pelicans, like the there's a few teams out there that have been Timberwolves have been drafting very high, for a very long time. So they don't have to hit on everything; they just have to hit on some of it, and throw in a couple trades, a couple other free agent signings, and all of a sudden you got a team that's a contender. you know. And it's like I think the Kings are that type of team. They're kind of you know, like the Nuggets. They're not a team that you expect to win at all, but I think they can give some teams some problems.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Foxworther, Barnes, Marie Sabonis is in that action, and of course, you know, Barnes has been around. He seems like he's been around forever.
Yeah, it's like he's the crafty veteran of the bunch now. You know, it's the guys like Fox and Sabonis that are kind of the new breed here on the Kings.
Yeah, Lakers are showing a little bit of success when they went a little up tempo. They were putting up a lot of points, getting some of these high scoring games. Got the head of it, of course, with Davis. But then again, another Davis out. Looks like it's going to be what 2 to 4 weeks with Davis out. That's another huge blow to the Lakers.
Well, in the salary cap sport, when you have one guy that makes that much of the cap, it's like having 20% of your team out or more. You know, so that's the issue here.
Yeah, that's a rough one there. Kings laying 7 here against the Lakers, and this one will be a late night game here at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And no national TV today. I think they're going to let the Bulls bowl game. It is a bowl game tonight, and we got some college hoops. But it's NBA TV's got some games tonight. All right, Mitch. So what's happening over at Pick Dogs and SCP Betting? Of course, as we hit the end of the year, we've got this great capper contest going, which has been competitive till 31st on Instagram.
Yeah, I love the capper contest. It's always one of the highlights of my year, and we've done extremely well getting people from the capper contest that have stuck with our site. You don't see all the, you know, we have some cappers that are veterans, and you'd see on a couple other sites, but the bulk of the cappers that are on our site are our cappers. We don't like force them to stay there or anything like that, but they, you know, they do stay there, and we find a lot of these guys through the contest, and we've done extremely well. James Clark, Jovan Bertz, Mills, Jay Briggs are all guys that we have found through the contest. Most of those guys, if you look at the leaderboards, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, those are guys that are on the leaderboard all the time. So it's, you know, Jovan did not win the contest. Jay Briggs did not win the contest. They did very well in the contest. They finished in the top 2 or 3, but they did not win. And I just think that, you know, we look for more than just guys that pick games. I understand that, you know, people are going to have winning months and losing months, and we hold the contest a month, and it could be your worst month you ever had. It could be, you know, not your best month. It could be all those things. And that's why we'll offer other opportunities that will take place after the holiday. And, you know, if you stay consistent, that's number one. You know, Jay will get on here, or any of the guys, and hopefully Tony has a chance to ask them. And I think, you know, even Rod and Chris and some of the other guys, and Tony knows this, we show up. You know, we always show up. We have every excuse in the world not to. You know, if you think, if you don't want to show up every day, and you want to take days off and take a pass, and, you know, think that you could show up, you know, have a live show and just never show up for it and all that other stuff, go over to some of the other guys, because it's acceptable over there. Yep. You know, they have some of our old cappers over there doing it. You know, where it's like, well, you know, I got gonorrhea or something, I can't show up for the show, or I don't know, you know, they have different reasons. Obviously, life happens, and, you know, Al McMorty's taking his family on vacation. It's the holidays. He can't be on the show today. You know, it's like he's been on about 1 million times, you know, outside of that. And, you know, he let us know. It wasn't like some bull crap excuse out of the blue. And, you know, you don't win every day. Nobody does. I mean, Jay Briggs, the Jay's Jam session, I think he had days like, you know, 6-0, 7-0, 7-1, 8-1. Then he throws up a 1-win day. You know, they happen. But he's, you know, the thing is, he took it and you show up the next day, and, you know, that's the beauty of this. You get to start over. The people that don't give you the chance to start over, those aren't the people we want anyway as part of our Pick Dogs community. So you don't really have to worry about that. You have to worry about yourself and doing the best that you can do, and, you know, to be part of what we do. What we're not looking for are people that send me an email saying, I'm a great handicapper, you know, you should hire me. And then they send me this email while we're running the contest. It's like, you're clearly not in touch with our brand if you don't understand that we're running a capper contest, you know, and that we do it every single year at this time. You know, yep. Most of the people send me emails and post on, you know, Instagram, whatever. Hey, you're going to have the contest. I mean, they'll message me on Twitter or Instagram, which I check every, you know, once a month. But, you know, they will ask if we're having it. And it's like, I'd rather have those guys that, you know, that are into it than because believe me, everyone gets hot and cold, and there's a lot of good handicappers out there. I know it, and there's a lot of really bad ones that think they're good.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, Mitch, we'll throw a few games at you here. We got some private profile games. Michigan, North Carolina going off top of the hour. North Carolina about 5.5 now, total 154.
It's a neutral site game, but it really is a home game for North Carolina. It's one of those games. So I think North Carolina has a big edge here. I think Michigan this year is just not a great team. I think they have one big guy in the middle, and everything kind of goes around him. North Carolina has some pretty big guys too. They have Baycott, and they also have some guys, with championship experience. And those guys, you have to remember, North Carolina wasn't a world beater until the NCAA tournament last year. So these guys are going to come around. And, I think they would rather have them not be around in November than in March. So I expect the Heels to show up for this one, especially at home.
Auburn had a tough one against USC. They're losing there in the final minutes. And, of course, they're going to be in Washington. Washington maybe a little improved this year, but the Auburn Open 4 is between 4.5, 3.5, total 138.
The thing about Auburn, I didn't like the USC matchup for them. I just thought in that game that it was a bad day, for Auburn, and a bad spot. And I took USC in that game, and but in this one, I just think that Washington, while they are greatly improved, and I think the Pac-12 is a better conference when Washington is decent. I could take some of these other teams being doormats year after year, but I think Washington is a team that they have a great athletic program. They should be good every year. And but I just think that might be a little bit too much to chew off, especially with Auburn coming off the loss.
Yeah, no doubt. And this one says neutral court, but it is in Salt Lake. An interesting matchup here. Another team that looks improved with a lot of size, this Utah Utes team, against the TCU team that has played. If you look at the ratings for the schedule, so they played a relatively weak schedule. TCU here facing Utah. This one looked about Utah favored about a couple of points at last check here.
Utah, we've seen it on both ends of it. We saw them get waxed at home by Sam Houston, and then we've seen them, go out and whip Arizona by 100. So it's like, which Utah team is going to show up? I took BYU against Utah, but that game was at BYU. This one is a tough one. This is a really tough game because, like you said, TCU they're an improved team, but they haven't played anybody. And it's like, in a day and age in college basketball where kind of everybody plays everybody early. I mean, you don't see Baylor, Texas, Gonzaga, Michigan State, Duke, and Kansas dodging teams. So why is TCU doing it? They must really think that they're going to be in trouble in the Big 12. I mean, when they get there. I don't know. I don't like teams that duck teams. So it's like I'm going to lean to Utah here, but probably not rush into the window.
Yeah, maybe the side advantage. They're playing in Salt Lake, but not the home court. This will be the doubleheader game in Phoenix. USC at Colorado State. USC now 3, total 139.5. Could be a lot of points, I think, here.
Just not the same Colorado State team that we saw in the past. And I think if this was last year, this would have been a great game. Or 2 years ago, would have been a great game. I think this year USC is just a little too much.
Conference game tonight here, Notre Dame at Florida State here at 8:30 Eastern. Notre Dame about 2 on the road here, 141.5. What's happened to this Florida State team last couple seasons?
Well, I think what's happening here is that Notre Dame's getting a little too much credit and Florida State's not getting enough. As bad as Florida State's been, I do see them playing a little bit better recently, and Notre Dame not playing really all that well recently. So I like Florida State in this one.
This is another game in Phoenix area. St. Mary's in Wyoming. Looks like St. Mary's going to be laying 8.5 here, neutral court game.
It seems to be a lot of points for this game. I just think I like Wyoming with the points. I think the game itself is a coin flip. I think this is going to be a really competitive game, but 8 points just seems to be way too much. All
right, Mitch, before I let you roll here, any thoughts here so far in this college basketball season? As we've talked before the show, lots of games here. This is supposed to be finals weekend. We're seeing still big cards.
Yeah, I think that we're starting to see already contenders for the Final Four. Originally, I had Dayton in my Final Four with Houston, and like Dayton, I would move out of my Final Four. I would put UConn in is the one team that I did not have in my Final Four. I like Houston, UConn. Who are the other two that I had in there? It doesn't matter. because we still got plenty of basketball left to be played. But I think that UConn and Houston right now are two of the tough. Arkansas was one, and the other was
Arizona in there, or any team
might be Texas.
Might
be Texas.
We'll see how that rolls. There's a lot of drama there in Texas. See how that helps.
Yeah, and so it's a little different scenario there. But I think right now, I think what we're seeing in college basketball's got it right. They've got it right, and not in the transfer portal right, but they have it right in the respect of the and college football doesn't have it right in the transfer portal either. But where they have it right is that the good teams are playing one another early, and it's like, so they're gonna a lot of these teams are gonna rematch, but we're seeing the last week's schedule was as good as the NCAA tournament. It was as good as the NCAA tournament's schedule. This week, not as good, right? Yeah. But last week and Thanksgiving week, I mean, these were like the NCAA tournament. Like watching the NCAA tournament. I mean, you look at Michigan State's schedule; they've played a tougher schedule than the gauntlet that they would play in the NCAA tournament. They have played a tougher schedule than if they go to the NCAA tournament, what it would take to win the championship. They've played a tougher schedule than that.
Yes.
So you have to give them some credit here, on some of these teams. And I like, and the way that they have it is that, it doesn't really hurt them, So it's like,
because you can finish 500, okay. You can finish 500, and you didn't even mention a Big Ten team there in your four there, or didn't mention UCLA or Kentucky. But you're right. All you got to do is finish at 500 in the Big Ten, and you're pretty much in the tournament.
I mean, if you played this schedule in the NCAA tournament, right? This is a tougher schedule. Even if you're like an 8 seed, this is a tougher schedule. They played Gonzaga, they played Kentucky, they played Villanova, Alabama, Oregon, Portland, Notre Dame, Northwestern, Penn State, and Brown. I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah. That is tougher than winning the NCAA. To go, so if they could have run the gauntlet there, it's tougher than winning the national championship. Yeah, and
tonight they got the Oakland Golden, and they got Oakland, which is a team that's been down, but they used to be a pretty good team. Been major team, Oakland Golden Grizzlies.
Yeah, they become a little bit of a farm team for the big schools as far as the transfer portal goes, and that's part of the problem with the transfer portal, especially in hoops, is where some of these smaller programs become part of a farm system. I want to also say just two more things before I go. One is, today's National Signing Day for football. With the transfer portal, what happens today doesn't generally, have too much bearing. Ask Texas A&M, who last year was seen as having the best recruiting class in the history of college football, and this year, one of the biggest teams to hit the transfer portal. So it doesn't mean anything at all. They had a lousy season and they hit the transfer portal, but I'm glad that my Miami Hurricanes are back in the top 3 in recruiting classes. And I think that the other thing I wanted to say was that, farewell Franco Harris, man. Yeah. Definitely made me an NFL fan. I was never a fan of the Steelers or that team, but I know my Dolphins, we feared having to play those guys every single week and, every single year. And, Franco was definitely part of, one of the teams that kind of made me an NFL fan. It's like that was back when I first started watching.
Yeah, in our childhood. Some of the running backs in our childhood that we looked at. I watched that live, that Immaculate Reception. I actually happened to watch that.
Yeah, me too. I remember watching it. I remember where I was watching it on a small black and white TV. Is where I was watching it in my bedroom. I was watching it on a small black and white TV, and I was screaming forward lateral. Yeah, I remember it. It's a forward lateral. I mean, I still don't really know what happened. I haven't really, seen the play as many times as that. I remember John Madden going crazy.
That might have been Kirk Gowdy. Yeah, he was going crazy. Kirk Gowdy was on the call back then. I remember hearing Gowdy's call at the end. Everybody was confused, and they said it's a touch, and he just played it out like it was a touchdown. That's it.
And that day, and back then, the playoffs were done differently. So Miami, even though they were undefeated, they played at Pittsburgh the next week.
They rotated it. I remember that they used to rotate sites. That was crazy there. But no doubt. All right, Mitch, great having you on the show. A great holiday, and we'll talk with you again next week.
Thanks, Tony. Have a great holiday. Have a great holiday, everyone, and be safe.
You got it, Mitch here on the drive. So you guys, if you missed any picks, we'll recap at the end of the show. We got Dana Lane signed in, so let's get to Dana. Dana, how's it going?
It's going well, man. How are you?
Doing
it's
great.
Freezing in Vegas.
I heard it's freezing in Vegas. Yes, yeah, they're telling me it's getting cold, getting that Arctic chill over there. And at least it's not. Well, at least it's not in the negative. Okay.
I got to tell you, man. Without the humidity, it seems like it used to back in New York. I mean, I take my kids to school in the morning, and it's in the mid-20s, and I'm telling you, that is no joke. It is really cold. So no wonder they are contemplating having the Winter Classic here.
No doubt about that. That would be something. That would be something if they did. That'd be a great place to do it. They should. They should. But with how great that organization is run in Vegas, you're always going to have your down years, but they're bouncing it back. They're bouncing back. Here tonight, we're going to the ice here. Panthers host the Devils. Panthers minus 130, total 6.5.
Yeah, not a big surprise in the movement already. We see the Panthers opened up about a minus $1.50 and then got bet down. And of course, New Jersey is considered one of the better teams in the league right now, but obviously they're on a 6-game losing streak, and it's very difficult when you kind of try to unpeel this and why they're on a 6-game losing streak. Well, first of all, Tony, it's very simple. This is a very young team. I mean, when you're looking at Jesper Bratt and Dawson Mercer and Jack Hughes, I mean, these guys are all under 25, and to expect 25-year-olds, I mean, they're not consistent in their personal life. They're certainly not going to be consistent on the ice, and I think there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. I thought New Jersey was going to be an improved team this year. They are improved, but that didn't mean that I thought that they were going to, make any noise in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So this is interesting because the betting patterns in this is, it's like we've seen before. 2 nights ago, of course, or on Saturday night, 2 games ago, Florida beat New Jersey in New Jersey. So naturally, people are going to go right back and take the opposite side in a game that's fairly close to each other, even though New Jersey did play a game against Carolina, a game that they dropped as well. So not a surprise in the betting pattern, but I just think Florida's in a better spot right now. And keep in mind, assistant coach for New Jersey, Andrew Burnett, was the head coach of the Florida Panthers last year. So I don't know where the incentive lays on that, but I do tend to think it lays with the better team, the more veteran team. And I think that that's Florida at this point. So I'm going to go right back and take the Panthers again as they come back and in this second game and in 3 games. The one thing about it is, Tony, if you watch these 2 teams play, and why I think Florida is going to get better as they go on, is their 5-on-5 play. And yes, it is debatable whether or not they are reliable to bet on at this point. But their 5-on-5 play this year has been fantastic. They've scored a ton of goals, haven't played well defensively, hasn't resulted in a lot of power play goals, which I really would rather put my money behind with a team that is good on a power play. But I think as the season goes on and as they get more comfortable with Paul Maurice, I think Florida's just going to get better and better. And I just kind of go away from this theory of let's go the opposite direction with a good team. If you look at New Jersey, Tony, going back probably November 28th against the Rangers, that was really the last time New Jersey won a game that was a tough game to win. Even the games that they've lost, or even the games that they've won, I mean, they were massive favorites in. So I don't like the direction that New Jersey's going. I do like the way that the direction that Florida's going. So even though we got to lay a little bit, $1.35-ish, I'm still going to take the Panthers tonight.
All right, Dana here on the Panthers, lay the 130 here against the Devils. And, with the Devils, I mean, they were playing well, and all of a sudden, boom, here you go with this losing streak, 6 games. It looks to me it's just getting the puck in the net here the last couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, this comes down to depth. And right now, if you're looking at offensive depth with both teams, it's about the same. These are 2 teams that are not quite, we can't say they're top heavy because they're not a top 3 heavy up there, but they are top 6 heavy. But as the season goes on, I just think Florida is going to be a little bit better than the young Devils. I think when you're young like that, I think you need some seasoning. I want, especially when we go into the postseason, I want to know what team do I think has seasoning. And I think it takes a while. I think there's a process to becoming a great team and a great organization. I think Florida is a lot further along in that process despite the coaching change. And for me, that Andrew Burnett factor, I think, is huge because I think that they know, especially with his involvement on the power play, which has not been very good this year. I think Florida is way more familiar with what the Devils are going to do than the Devils are familiar with what Florida is going to do.
And also in your favor here, Florida's won 7 of their past 8 at home against the Devils. Panthers laying minus 130 against the Devils. This one to have a start time here of 7 Eastern time. All right, Dana, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs from tonight's action. Good NHL card up there. 11 games from the NBA. Some college hoops in action as well. Here's heading towards the holidays. Also a bowl game in prime time. Great results here in college hoops this year. 1,430 units of profit. All document over at Pick Dogs Prim. What do you have going on over at the site?
Yeah, very excited about where we're going in college basketball tonight. Michigan, North Carolina is still up on the board. Of course, NBA tonight, Golden State, Brooklyn is up there. And the Lone Bowl game, side and total, is available up on the site in the New Orleans Bowl.
That's right, guys. Got up board here with Dana Lane over at Pick Dogs Prim. You see the great results here. 1,430 units of profit in the college hoops for this year. That is all documented. You can verify that by going over to Dana's handicapper page over at Pick Dogs. You can check that out. Also showing great profit in the NFL. Of course, Dana in action tonight here with that New Orleans Bowl tonight here. South Alabama, Western Kentucky. Also in action here with some college hoops highlighted by that Michigan, North Carolina play here at the top of the hour. Also in action here with that game. Also top of the hour, a big play, UT Arlington and Cal Golden Bears. You can also get that in the 3-pack up there as well. But instead of buying all these plays individually, why not go ahead and get Dana's 1-month all sports pass? The way he's running, you want to get the 1-month pass. Get all of Dana Lane's premium plays here for a month. All his college hoops, all his NBA, NFL. This will take you through Wild Card Weekend when you get that 1-month all sports pass, because we have 3 weeks remaining in the NFL, and that will get you through the first week of the playoffs. Also, the remainder of the college football bowl season and the championship game is part of that 1-month all sports pass. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Dana, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success. We'll talk with you again next week. But I know the talk in Vegas was that how those Raiders won last week.
It was the talk in Vegas is how the Raiders won and how one of those Patriot fans were taunted relentlessly in the stands. If you haven't seen that video, you should check that out. A lot of props to that Patriots fan that I think the Raiders should do something for him because he was really unnecessarily taunted. And honestly, that is not a reflection of how the majority of people react at Raider games. But I guess that's what happens when Oakland fans fly in.
That's true. That's right. They come from all over. They come from all over. There you go. All right, Dana. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Have a great weekend, Tony. Thank you.
Got it. Dana Lane here on the drive-thru. Guys, we'll do a recap of all the plays at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru as we're ready to go here with my play, and then we'll get to the recap for tonight's action here as we're hitting here the top of the hour. I've got to keep getting Dana back on the line. Let me go ahead and get back here to my screen here. Give me 1 second. I got to create some shortcuts here on my board to get me through and from here, as we got almost 300 scenes on this show now. So I got some more work to do here to get through these guests more quickly. We'll get that taken care of. Let's continue on here. Let's get my pick up here. Rockets and Magic. Nope. We got the Magic are -1 here in this one, in this game, and we're gonna be taking this one. The Magic laying the point here, and I know they've had their difficulties on the road this year. It's for sure. But look, man, you can't knock what this team has been doing. They played well in that Atlanta game, and they actually took the lead. They were down 12 points. They made a deficit of 12 points in the final 3 minutes. They got the lead late. Of course, they sent I believe it was Murray to the line here to two free throws. That was the decider there, but they covered that game. We saw how well they played against Boston. Markelle Fultz back in the lineup, 24 points, 9 assists in that game against the Hawks. They covered that one. And when you look here at this Rockets teams, they lost 3 straight, all at home, averaging just 105 points per 100 possessions while giving up 117 per 100. The Magic, they've covered 8 straight, winning 6 of those games, and they sit 6th in defensive efficiency, allowing 109 points per 100 possessions while scoring 114 per 100. And, of course, we'll go here with Orlando here laying the point here against the Houston Rockets. Guys, check out Pick Dogs Stream. I've got a 3-pack up there right now, putting together up there right now with my best plays for college football, college basketball, NBA there. Also a best bet, standalone best bet from college basketball with my $15 premium pick. So check me out over at Pick Dogs Stream. Also part of the 2-for-1 capper promotion. You can check me out there and get signed up to one of those long-term passes. I have a 3, 7, and $30 sports pass. Get all of my premium plays for that period of time just when you go to my handicapper page and make that purchase. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's recap today's show. We started off with Chris. He liked UT Arlington +4 against Cal. Ninos, Predators in regulation, -115 against the Blackhawks. Rod was on Canadians puck line, +1.5 goals, -110 against the Avalanche. Dana, Panthers, -130 against the Devils. Mitch, Kings, Sacramento Kings, -7 against the Lakers. I'll be on the Magic, -1 against the Rockets, the one I like the most. I'll be there with Chris here with UT Arlington against this downtrodden Cal team. All right, before we let you go, let's do one swing here through the NBA. Let's get you some updates here on the injuries here to see if we can, what the status is of some of these players that were on the questionable list. As we gave you the players that are out of tonight's game, let's take a look at who, if any of these questionables are going to play or if they're going to sit. We'll wait for my screen here to refresh here. I'm sure a lot of people are refreshing their injury reports right now. Okay, let's see if we can give you some information here on some of these players that we had questions about. Let's see here. We are still looking at, let's see, we got to the Warriors. Okay, Urban we told you was out. On the Boston side, Smart is out. On the questionable side here from Minnesota, we're still waiting on Gobert and Anderson. They're still questionable for tonight's game. On the Lakers side, Reeves doubtful, James is probable. On the Sacramento Kings, Barnes questionable, Sabonis probable. So that's your report there. Portland has a laundry list here. We got Nurkic questionable, Lillard, Hart, Grant probable. So is Eubanks. So that's the word there on the Portland Trailblazers. LA Clippers, this is one to keep an eye on. Norman Powell off the bench to provide scoring. He is probable. George, Jackson, Zubac still questionable. So that's the update here. Still doubtful for Rozier. No update there. And we were looking here at, let's see who else do we have here on this injury report here. We can add Matthews to the out here for Houston. Matthews and Tate out. This one for Orlando. We've got, here's the update on Orlando. Good one for me. Franz Wagner will play tonight. So both Wagner's in. Wagner was the one we're waiting for. He was questionable. We can now confirm that Wagner will be in the lineup tonight with Franz and Morris Wagner. So those are the two there for that Orlando injury report there. That cleans that up there from that questionable status. Looks like we've kind of cleaned up the questionables already now in the early games as they're about to tip here a little bit, and we got you the recap. So there you go with tonight's injury report here on our show, The Drive-Thru, and hope you guys tune in again tomorrow here live here at 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring our cappers in from Pick Dogs and SCP Betting. We'll give out the plays for you live on the show. Don't forget, it always gets started every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time with the morning show. You got Mitch, you got Chris, you got Rod Zawacky in the mornings. And, of course, all the video series here on the Pick Dogs with the Puck Dogs, the videos with Chris and with Rod Zawacky. We got the corner kick with the soccer there from Goran. We've got Jay's Jam Session, the NBA videos. Ron Romanelli's Bank Shot college basketball report, college basketball picks from Ron Romanelli, as well as Jovan's Parlay. I know Big Al and Mitch and Jay shot the NFL show yesterday. That's up on the board. I'm sure there'll be a bull show coming tomorrow from Mitch and Chris and Romanelli, so keep an eye there. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel because a lot's going on over at Pick Dogs. Make sure you like, subscribe, and set those notifications. Okay, that's going to do it for our show tonight. Let's go ahead and bring our crew for tonight. We're going to wait goodbye to guys. You guys have a great evening, afternoon. We'll talk with you again here.